stands for Artificial Intelligence Telemedicine. What we are is we eliminate the middle party, thus contacting, connecting you to the doctor directly. We're 24/7, we can see you anytime, anywhere, and we are cost efficient. We have a doctor speaking today. She is the lovely Helen, Dr. Helen Pensanti. She specializes in women's health, and she's been practicing for over 25 years. She will be talking about what's the cutting edge for women health issues. Please welcome Dr. Pensanti.
Hi.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me. Well, first thing I'd like to tell you is telemedicine is the future. If anything is going to be new in medicine, it's telemedicine. It is all over. It's cutting edge. You see in every office, doctor, I actually worked in one office where they had 9 different offices, and if I wasn't busy, they had me on camera talking to San Diego, we're now here in Orange County, and talking to the patient and treating them. So you can see that even individual doctors are starting to do this. This is the future. Get into it now before you're left behind. And you go, what's that? What is it? Okay. So I have been a specialist in women's health for many, many, many years. I am a traditionally trained MD. About 1989, I started reading a lot of medical magazines and studies, and I started seeing that there was a 45% increased risk of breast cancer with synthetic hormones. And I literally went, ha! And threw the magazines down, and I said, wait a minute, I took a vow, first do no harm. What am I doing? I have a chance of giving my patients breast cancer? No. So I began the search, and I searched and found natural hormones. Excuse me. In 1936, they had discovered progesterone, and what they were doing, they were extracting it out of a wild Mexican yam plant that they had gotten from Mexico. It cost $25,000 an ounce, and they were injecting it in women who were miscarrying. So to stop the miscarriages, they would inject progesterone, and it would hold the baby in the womb. So a clever man decided that he wanted to be on the other end. Instead of buying it, he wanted to go make it and sell it back to the pharmaceutical companies. That then became birth control pills. That became Premarin, Provera, Estrace, blah, 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 anything you can name, the patch, any synthetics. And it became standard of care in America for anything, PMS, endometriosis, menopause, perimenopause, even osteoporosis, to give synthetics. And what we started to see was all this disease come out that we hadn't seen before. So many of us in the early days switched to natural hormones. Now I'm going to divide women's health into 5 groups. I'm going to make it real easy for you. You have between the ages of 18 and 40, I call that the PMS group. The PMS group goes through something like this. For 2 weeks out of a month, they're fine. They hit mid-cycle, they slip into a depression, they start withdrawing from their friends or their family, then their family goes, what's the matter with you? Nothing. And they start getting really angry, and they become real snippy and fighting with people, making mountains out of molehills, eating everything, foraging for what I now know is vitamin B's and magnesium, but we didn't know in those days. So they're just eating, ice cream, everything they can. And then they have their period, and then they're in their good phase, okay? And then for 2 weeks they're nice, and they're happy, and they love everybody, and then they go through the same thing again month after month. How I treat that is with something called natural progesterone. United States Pharmacopoeia progesterone. What does that mean? That means that the whatever lab is making it has to make it according to the United States, what they say it has to be made. It can't be some guy in some lab going, wow, but a little salt here and a little pepper here and a little, make their own thing. No, it's United States pharmacopoeia exactly. So it is sold over the counters. You do not need a prescription for it. So you can go on Amazon, type in progesterone. There is a million companies selling it now. When I started, there were 3 of us selling progesterone. Now, thousands. And I'm glad. And I predicted by the year 2015 that progesterone would be as popular and in people's medicine cabinets as aspirin, which it is now, very popular. Anyway, now we go to the next group. The next group is the perimenopause, and this group is from 40 to 48. And what happens to these people is they start losing their sex drive, they start getting a little cranky, crying jacks, they don't really, something's wrong, they don't feel right, their periods are okay, but they'll miss one here and there. I still go ahead and use natural progesterone. I never give estrogen to this age group. A lot of doctors do. I am against it. If you give someone under 50 years of age estrogen, they'll have 2 periods a month. And then they'll come crying to the doctor and go, I got 2 periods a month, what happened? And then he has to figure out, what did I do wrong? Never give estrogen to a woman under 50. Their ovaries are still making it, their adrenal glands are still making it, they're not dried up. Now we get into the next phase, menopause. And that is 48 to 60. Hot flashes, night sweats, vaginal dryness, insomnia, crying jacks, no sex drive. I have women who come up to me and they go, I'm blank. My husband wants to have sex and I'm blank. I have nothing. He can walk around naked and I don't know, hello, who are you? Nothing. Help me. I'm afraid that my husband is going to find a younger woman. That's the fear of these women, that their husband is going to get fed up with them going, I'm not in the mood, and find somebody else, and they're scared. What do I do for them? I put them on a combination of the natural progesterone with the natural estrogen combined, and that does the trick. Now, a lot of them will say, I'm fine, Dr. Pensanti, I've been using that for 3 or 4 months, but I'm still, my sex drive isn't where I would like it, or I don't like my climaxes. They aren't what they used to be. So then I give them I give a little estrogen boost. So I have these vaginal suppositories, I give them to them, and I just boost them up, and they're fine. Then, if someone has had a hysterectomy, this is the last group. You could, from the age of, someone 21 years of age could have had a hysterectomy. It's very, very sad, but it happens. 21 to 100, you could have a hysterectomy. So you are surgical menopause. You will have hot flashes, night sweats, vaginal dryness, insomnia, no sex drive, low sex drive. You'll have the whole kit and caboodle. You'll have everything. If you're surgically in menopause, you will take the combination of the estrogen and the progesterone. All natural, all over the counter. You do not need a prescription, and it's cheaper than and safer. I had one woman call me the other day and she was telling me how much Premarin is now to buy. It's like $300 a month. Whereas the combination of the natural progesterone and estrogen is $24 for a month. So why would somebody take a chance of having breast cancer? And it's not only breast cancer. We're seeing so many diseases driven by too much estrogen. We're seeing ovarian cancer, breast cancer, uterine cancer, ovarian cysts, you name it, irregular periods. A lot of girls, I'm sorry to say right now, because then I don't want to go into it, it's another show that we'll do, but they've got polycystic ovarian syndrome. When I was young, you never heard anybody have that. Now, four out of 10 women coming into my office have that disease. So it's our environment. It's another story. I'm not going to bother you because we're here just to talk about women's health and what you should be doing. And a lot of the doctors, I'm sorry to say, their argument is, well, how do you know how much the patient is getting? What if, one of the arguments years ago was they said, estrogen, Premarin is good for the heart. Estrogen is good for the heart. And I used to do a lot of radio shows, so my argument was, I said, well, you know, we have signs all over Orange County that says, high blood pressure is the silent killer. Well, the first thing you learn in medical school is that estrogen raises the blood pressure. Now, how can estrogen be good for the heart if it's raising your blood pressure and making you have the silent killer? So I'm not buying that one. Then the next one they said was, oh, it makes your cholesterol go up. And then I don't forget what I came up with some studies and argued about that. Oh, and then they said, oh, it's good so you don't have Alzheimer's. That was their other battle. So what I'm trying to say is Big Pharma wants their money back, because when the National Institutes of Health in 2002, they were doing a study on Premarin and Provera, and they got on television, if anybody's old enough to remember, they got on television and they said, throw your Premarin in the toilet, flush it down the toilet, because in all good conscience, our studies are now showing so many women are getting breast cancer, we can't continue this study. Morally, we have to stop it. Now, no one is going to tell you to flush anything down the toilet today, because why? We know it goes in the water table, and hello, we're drinking it back up, and don't flush things down the toilet. So that took away $1 billion from Wyatt Erst, who made Premarin. They soon sold the company to somebody else. They lost $1 billion. A year. And if you don't think they came fighting back, think again. They fought back with every crazy thing you could think of. I had so many women say, well, Dr. Pensanti, I'd have radio shows, so they call and they go, well, why doesn't my own doctor know about this? Okay, let me explain something. There's something called standard of care in the United States. Standard of care means that every doctor in the United States, whether from Seattle to Miami, San Diego to Maine, and in between the whole X of the United States, has to practice medicine the same way. One time I joked, I was on a radio show, I said, what are we, the Rockettes? We all have to kick our legs in unison? Come on, can't anybody think outside the box? You know, there's other things. You don't have to be poisoning people to get them well. They have fought back. They're going to continue to fight back. And I just tell them, look, I had an argument with one of the guys I worked with, a doctor, and he was going, I don't like the studies. And I finally said this. I said, look, then don't worry about the studies. Let's think of it like this. Some people like to eat salads and vegetables, and some people like to eat meat and potatoes. It's a choice, okay? You want to do synthetic hormones, like red meat, and get all sorts of go ahead. But if we want to eat salads and vegetables, let us. Why are you arguing with this? It's a choice. We choose to do something natural. And that's my story. So remember, telemedicine is the future. Get in on it now.